Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Coffee with Coaches podcast. Good morning, good day, good evening, good night, whenever you're listening to this. I always find myself being very temporally locked whenever I'm greeting people. I'm getting better at the just good day. Good day is a nice neutral time. Although I will say right now here in the intro that I'm very excited about springing forward for daylight savings time. That's neither here nor there. Looking forward to more sunshine. Speaking of, I have the pleasure of having with me Brian Gorman. Trust me, he's got a very bright demeanor. You'll see that in just a second. Brian is an ICF-certified coach whose clients are seeking transformational change in their personal and professional lives. Using a model based on Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, he applies his decades of work in change management and knowledge of neuroscience to guide people into their desired future. There's so much more beneath the surface of that. We'll scratch a little bit. Brian, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Let's start at your origin story. I sometimes like to consider it the superhero origin story that everybody's so into these days. How did you become / realize that you were a coach? And then how did you move into the coaching business as just a pursuit for your career?
So when I was a freshman at Syracuse University, I really had my first venture into trying to make change happen. It was 1967-68, and the university mascot was called the Saltine Warrior, portrayed by Caucasian fraternity brothers running around like a, quote, drunken Indian. I did not succeed in getting the university to change the mascot. It took the Onondaga Nation another 10 years, but this thing about change was ignited in me. So fast forward to 1988, every job I had was about making change happen, but I didn't really see the thread. I was a management consultant at KPMG at the time, and they formed an alliance with Darrell Connor, who was recognized as one of the founders of the change management profession. So I trained with Darrell, and now I knew that there was a science and a profession behind what I had been doing. And I spent pretty much from 1988 into the 2000s, into the 2010s, actually, working in one way or another, internally or externally, as a change manager. Organizational change is a misnomer. Organizations don't change. People change. And again, going back to the bio you shared, Kevin, that change journey is universal. Joseph Campbell called it the hero's journey. At some point, I got tired of living in hotels and airports and carrying the weight of global organizations' change initiatives on my shoulders, even though I was on teams and shared that weight, and sort of stepped back from that. Then probably, I want to say 5 or 6 years ago, my coach, who I've been working with since 2007, said to me that the Gay Coaches Alliance and Easton Mountain, which is a gay retreat center, are co-sponsoring a coach training. And I think, even if you don't want to be a coach, you'd really enjoy the company of the men there. The first day of our training, it was like, this is what I have spent my entire life preparing for.
Oh, that's lovely.
So here I am.
Love that. Yeah, that moment of realization. And I just love that you can have multiple dawnings. Like you realized it so early and lived out that realization throughout your life, but in different roles. And then you can still, like, at any stage, at any time, the sun can come up over the horizon and you could see who you are and what you're going about doing in a whole new light. And I just love that it hit you like that, like just like a dawning realization. That's just, I come back to it from time to time, kind of maybe more often than I should, but it's such an apt analogy for what it feels like and what it actually is like when you have that realization that, oh, I could be doing this and be expressing myself and my identity in ways I hadn't maybe even considered before. That's not really a question there. I'm just loving it.
No, absolutely. And I was in my 60s at the time. Just earlier this morning, I was chatting. I do a weekly Zoom chat where anyone can drop in. Scott dropped in that I had not met before. He's in his 30s, and he just quit the tech world to become a coach.
I love that. I bump into this. I encounter this. I have met. I've been honored to interview dozens and dozens of coaches already this year. No two alike, but all very much from the same well. They have the same kind of character, the same kind of light in them, even though it's refracted through the lens of themselves. No two are alike, but they all have these core things in common. That it's just, it continues to be, and I hope the audience gets some of this too. It's just so lovely to see and to experience and to hear these people talk about their journeys and realize the things they have in common, but how they're distinct and different and how they can serve distinct and different people. I love the growth that we're seeing in coaching in general, as we have more people realizing that they would be good at coaching, that it would be a great expression of who they are and how they can serve. And then also people realizing that having a coach isn't just for a sports field or the executive suite. It's for any and all stages of personal and professional development.
Absolutely.
And again, I keep just making statements instead of asking questions, but I'm just getting into the conversation. Let's talk a little bit about your coaching practice today, like nuts and bolts stuff. Like, who do you coach most often? Maybe you have a wide swath. How do you like to coach? Do you like the one-to-one? I mean, everybody likes the one-to-one stuff. Do you have a group coaching practice or masterminds, anything like that? Courses, all of the above?
All of the above. I'm a multipreneur.
Yes.
So I do have my own coaching business, which is transforminglives.coach. And there I coach, well, I'll give you the range, really. I've coached a young woman who was a high school junior and coached her into college. I coached her brother who was a college junior. I have coached their mother, who is a single mother and an entrepreneur. I have coached people mid-career who realize that what they're doing doesn't make their heart sing. And I want to find and move to a new career. I've coached retirees who say, I don't just want to sit around and wait until I die here. I want to make something, contribute, give some value back to the world. And I'm not sure quite how to do that. And then I coached a man in his 70s who said, I've been married for 48 years and it's time for me to come out of the closet.
That's beautiful. I mean, sad and beautiful at the same time,
Yeah. So that's my coaching business. I'm also the coach side of the Doobie Associates, DO-BE, which is about the doing and the being of entrepreneurship and business ownership. And so there I work with business owners and their leadership teams who know what they should be doing sometimes and still aren't doing it. So that's always an interesting experience. I'm working with one business owner now, or we are, my partner Tony Carnesi and I, who is looking to grow his 20-some employee business to the point where he can take it public. So again, big transformation.
Yeah.
I also am the director of program development and a coach on Quantavos, which is a coaching platform. Quantavos means is Latin for choose to be your best. And this is maybe the most exciting and valuable work I feel I'm doing right now. And it involves both one-on-one and group coaching. Quantavos has a foundation called Watering Seeds, whose mission is to work with those first generation college students who have been supported getting into college, been supported going through college, and now are leaving to go into the workplace without any support. So we've got a 1-year blend of one-on-one and group coaching that addresses everything from how to build your network to how to establish collaborative relationships in the workplace to what are your values? How do they align with your business, your employer's values, and what do you do when there's a misalignment? Just all of the how to build trust, all of those kinds of things that many of us, certainly like myself, had role models for.
Yes. Man, there's almost no one you don't coach. I just, it really, it speaks to how you have an eye and a will to see the gaps and move into them with impact on your mind. I just, because I'm just, you're explaining what you do, and I'm like, there's almost nothing you don't do. But it's there's a commonality, there's a common thread through it all. It's like you're seeing where there's a lack or a gap or something that you know will be of service to someone who is in need of that service. Any stage in life, any time of life, any stage in a professional or personal journey, you're like, let's move into there and see what I could do, see what kind of change I can affect, see what I can catalyze. And it's, it's personal, it's one-to-one, it's technological, it's everything in between. As you can probably tell from my voice, I'm impressed. I am just plainly impressed and grateful that you are out there doing all these things and have been for years, and I think will be doing it for years to come. It's exciting.
I have no plans for retiring. Coaching makes my heart sing.
Who wants to retire? What a concept. For some people, not for some others. There's too much good to do.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, too much fun to be had. Let's not forget. This is a joy.
Oh, this a day with several coaching clients, and I'm end the day just highly energized.
I have the same experience with this podcast. I'm having the same experience now. We're recording this in my mid morning. This will be like an extra cup of coffee throughout the day. I'll be energized. I'll be maybe a little jittery, but that'll be the coffee speak. And this has been great. You've pretty much already talked about past, present, and future. Where can people find out more about you, or where do you like to engage with people? I know a lot of coaches will have a preferred social media platform where they like to interact, or where they post a lot of information, and of course a website. Maybe there's a way that people would be best for them to reach out for you in that way. Where can people basically connect with you?
Always on LinkedIn. You can also find me on Twitter, and I'm going to give 2 websites and 2 email addresses.
Okay.
If you're looking for one-on-one and or just personal coaching, in some cases I'm working with couples in relationship coaching as well. That is my website, transforminglives.coach. And the email there is brian@transforminglives.coach. If you're a business owner or an executive in business and are looking for coaching around your business issues, including what's happening with the Great Resignation, the 4-day work week. Actually, Tony and I are very involved with the global 4-day work week movement and are doing a workshop for project leaders who are taking their companies to a 4-day work week pilot starting April 1st. We're doing a workshop next week. That is do-beassociates.com, dobeassociates.com. And it's brian@do-beassociates.com. For what it's worth, Kevin.
Yeah.
When I'm in that role, I'm half a doobie.
I was waiting. I was wondering if I was going to get the pun. Oh, that tickles me somewhere deep in my soul. Well, Brian, I would, if I could, I would keep you here for the rest of the day. We would just chat, record it or not, but I should let you go. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for inviting me.
And
I really appreciate it.
Find Brian, reach out, connect. He's great. You will, I guarantee you, talk to him for 5 minutes, send him an email and get like a 1-sentence email back. You'll be happier for it. So thank you all for listening, and we'll talk to you again very soon.